Let's do it. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Outer Belt. I'm Patrick, and you know my friends.
Tone Loke.
Buttermilk.
Eric.
Zucchini bread.
And Jerry.
Well, clearly today's going to be a day. We want to welcome you back to the show. Tone Loke, how has your day been today? Because we didn't get a chance to see you today. Me and Eric went to the yard. We worked. We did things, and
I didn't.
and you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I took the day off today.
How was it?
It was a day off.
Nice. Did you get any snuggles in with Annie?
No.
Oh.
I barricaded myself in the basement. Usually I go down there and I don't close the door to the top of the steps.
Yeah.
But today I did.
I get that.
Yeah, that way I wouldn't irritate Melissa with what I was doing in the basement.
Or vice versa, because she
Right,
talks
she
on the phone
does
all
talk
day.
loud,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
She talks a lot.
Loud.
Loud.
Oh, loud.
You're a loud talker.
I am a loud talker.
Yeah. And her voice carries, so.
Which is better than being a soft talker, right?
It is better than being, no, I don't think so.
Better
I
than
guess
being-
in her line of business, it is better
Sure.
than a soft talker, sure.
Yeah, it just makes me think of that Seinfeld episode,
Mm.
agreeing to the puffy shirt. It's a great episode. Anyways, Don, where are you? I need you.
It was a good episode.
So, she's like, I've never seen it, but I'm gonna agree.
But I'll agree with them.
I've seen it.
You have?
I'm a Seinfeld girl.
Are you?
Yep, we've had that discussion before.
We have?
Mhm.
I should take better notes.
At any rate, yes, a loud talker I think is better than a soft talker.
Yes. I agree. At least we can hear what you're saying. We did, today, Eric and I went out to the yard, and we have, as y'all know, we have a bunch of trucks with different types of sleepers. We have bolt sleepers, which is out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Mhm.
And we have ARI sleepers out of Shipshewana.
Yeah.
I still need to go there
Indiana.
and see it.
We do.
We need to make a road trip
We do.
and
Yeah.
take some video and maybe be an outer belt
There you go.
on
Little remote.
location or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
sure.
it'd be fun. And then we have a bunch of AA sleepers. Now, AA out of Texas, they have discontinued making the large sleepers, but they are still in business and they do still provide us with service,
Yes, they do.
which is very handy. And then, and the smallest category of sleepers we have is Premier Customs out of Texas. Unfortunately, about a year and a half ago, 2 years
It's
ago,
been a couple years
maybe
now.
two
Yeah.
2.5 years ago, they went out of business during that COVID time. And
Wow. COVID was 5 years ago.
yeah, but I think it was they hung on for a couple
little bit,
years and
okay.
then
All
went
right.
out. So it may be more than 2.5 years. I could be getting my times wrong, but well, our most recent one would be like a 2021 or 20, so 3-4 years. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So they unfortunately went out of business, and the good news is majority of the parts and service were able to get done at either AA
Or yeah.
or a bolt
Right.
or wherever, and it's not a big deal. But we had a unique problem on some of our reefer units. Well, all of our reefer units have these. They have these little. The sleepers are notched out. We've talked about that before. How the
Yes.
sleepers are notched out, and the reefer unit goes over into that notch. On the sides of that notch, they have these little fairings. They're just these little faux pieces of aluminum or fiberglass that hide the reefer unit and keep that aesthetic of the body of the sleeper going.
And also the arrow.
And the aerodynamics,
Yeah.
yes, keep the wind blowing down the side of the truck
Right.
instead of getting caught in there and causing drag. We had one that flew off. It's missing. We don't know where it's at. It's gone.
Yeah.
And then we have several others that are just not in great shape. Like, you can tell the fiberglass is getting old. They're starting to be like little tears and rips where the bolts go through and stuff because
Sure.
they had to be taken off when they work on the reefer unit. So they're on, off quite a bit. And so we need to replace them, which is common, but that is a custom-made part that nobody else has. We had to actually go grab a truck, get the both sides of those fairings off, and tomorrow I'm bringing them out to Bolt Custom Trucks in Indiana, and they are going to reverse engineer them and create us new ones out of aluminum and get us a bunch of spare sets so that as these fly off or need replacing because they just look bad,
Right.
we can finally do that.
So by reverse engineer, you mean that somebody's 7-year-old kid who is coming to work with their parent because they're out of school for the summer is going to sit down with it on a piece of paper and take a magic marker and outline it, right?
Well, Yes, basically, but
Okay,
it's a little.
that's
So
fair.
because we're getting made out of aluminum, they're going to be stamped,
Okay.
and so because that has to be thrown into CAD, so they have to like, and it's not a one-dimensional part; it's a three-dimensional part.
Sure.
It has curves and stuff, so they have to actually go through and upload all that into the CAD software, and then make one, and then verify it's identical to the one that we're giving them as a sample.
So they're going to have somebody's 10-year-old kid who's out of school for the summer come
13-year-old.
in, give him a digitizer, and have him go through and digitize
Yes.
everything. Okay.
Yeah,
all
and then they're
right.
going to make us a bunch and
Yeah.
enamel coat them, paint them, and get them back to us so that we can.
That's going to be fun.
It will be nice. It will be very nice. I hope it's done relatively soon. They didn't really give me a lead time, so we'll see. Paint time in a paint booth is a little tricky sometimes,
yeah,
so
it is with them.
we're hoping we can get these back in a pretty quick turn. But yeah, I'm excited that we are going to be getting these done and have some spare parts for that because it's a little bit of concern when you got something that's that custom.
Yeah.
And there's not many parts on the truck that are that custom.
No, there really aren't.
Most of the stuff, like if you were to, hit a, God forbid, hit a bridge and put a crease in it, you could just they could fiberglass that super easy. Like
Right.
that kind of repair is easy. This is a freestanding independent part,
It's
which
a
is
one-off part.
yeah.
Yep.
So, I'm excited about getting that done. But that's what we had to take care of today. And Eric got a chance to ride a truck, which he hadn't done in how long? Has it been since you rode a truck?
A good bit.
A good bit. That's an industrial term.
Yeah.
It means a long time ago. And so, yeah,
Prior to PCS going out of business, that's my guess.
I would bet that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And then
Sounds like a
Me
fun day.
being in a
Yes.
truck. Who's PCS?
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty busy day. Got to do orthodontist appointment. Finally got an update on the timeline of these braces.
Ooh.
Nice.
And that update is, we'll see. He did say that he, for the first time ever since I've been going to this orthodontist, he finally was like, I know we're in overtime and kind of a little longer than we planned, but we're making good progress and things are coming together nicely. So, we're just gonna keep going at it. and
Nice.
So I
Nice.
have no idea how long
That's
until
always
this is done.
encouraging.
But, yeah.
So I actually had a good day today. I'm working on a new something or other that I'm not ready to talk about, but I got to do some work on that today.
Cool.
So it was a good day because I barricaded myself in the basement, did some messing around, and then
Research.
I did some research, but I did some other stuff too
Yeah.
that again not prepared to talk about. But yeah, it was a good day.
So well, that's exciting. I know projects. You keep me pretty well in the dark too about it. So I know those kind of projects are exciting. And,
I've kept even Melissa kind of in the dark about progress.
yeah, but that was weird though. You actually brought her into the basement with all the lights off. You walked her in. You turned her around and you took her right back out.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
like, you didn't give her a chance for the
Yeah,
eyes to
no.
adapt or anything. You actually had her in
No.
the sun. Had her sit outside in the sun and
Right.
then walked her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made her put shoes on too, so she couldn't feel around the floor with her feet.
Appropriately.
Yeah.
Appropriately. And then the giant pieces of foam that she had to walk on just to
Exactly,
really throw
just to
her
really
off.
throw
That
her
was
off.
At
Yeah.
least
That
it
was
wasn't
good.
a piece of plastic.
Ooh, that's good in the basement.
That was under
Oh.
that was under
some
the foam.
Visqueen.
It was kind of weird though. And I put the handkerchief over her face, and I said, "Does this smell like chloroform?" to you?"
She said, no, it smells like hydrogen peroxide.
Like, oh, darn it! I poured the wrong bottle. Wow, that sounds really bad. I would not do that to Melissa. We're just teasing.
That's okay.
We're just teasing.
That's okay. I know you are. All in good fun.
Not a cherry.
Only because I'm probably the only person in the world that Googles where do you buy chloroform.
No,
Yes.
there are others. I'm
There's
sure.
others.
Only person in the
for
room.
Morbid curiosity.
Only person in the room, but
Well, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I watch a lot of true crime. So, and then I watch a lot of not true crime, which is where it spurred my
yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
Was I was watching Criminal Minds episode and the guy used it on a lady, and I'm like, where are people in general just buying chloroform?
They do make it sound like you can buy it like Scope.
They
Yeah,
do.
they really do.
Like you,
They really do.
So
I just
I
gotta
was
water-
curious, and I Googled it the other day, and
I get you 10% off at CVS.
yeah.
well, it's literally
sure.
like you can go to CVS and you're like, all right, Listerine, Scope, chloroform, aqua,
Right. Aquanet.
Aquanet, thank you.
Which
Aquavelvet.
could almost be like chloroform. That
Mhm.
aqua.
It could be.
Whew.
Yeah, I know that I have to make sure the fan is on in the bathroom and everything when I put it on my hair.
Yeah.
I got to use a lot for this, dude.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. You know, too much will make your hair come out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, the more you know. This has been your NBC spotlight moment.
I had a personal appointment this morning, and Vince drove me to it. And afterwards, we went and grabbed a quick coffee, and
That was fun.
it was at a location we've been to before, and I really enjoy their coffee.
The human
As
being.
Some of you know, no, that's a 2.5-hour drive in any direction. But Vince and I like to do coffee dates on the weekend, try to find new places to that aren't, major chain. And this is one that we've been to before. So
Yeah.
we went and grabbed a quick coffee and
Yep.
a
Little breakfast.
little breakfast, and then back at it. I think I was back in front of my computer by like 9:30, maybe 9.
Cool.
So, yeah, just answering people's phone calls, all their questions.
Yep. Well, I had a flight lesson this morning that got canceled, so yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. I saw
How
the
was yesterday's?
yesterday's got canceled because of me. I canceled it actually. So
Oh.
I still went in and did a ground. So
Okay.
I did some. I'm in my final preparations for my check ride, which check ride is like your final test to, yes, you can be a pilot or you can't. Go work on these things.
Right.
So yesterday I went for my annual doctor's checkup. Is that what it's called?
Okay. Your physical?
Yeah, annual physical that my insurance has us do. The last thing we had to do, always everybody's favorite, blood draw. And I hate getting my blood drawn. I'm just not one of those people that likes it. But, sometimes you get in there and the nurse practitioner or whatever they are, the lab technician, they're like, I got you. And they're like, zoop, zoop. They're like, grab this ball, pump a fist. How's your day been? What's going on with whatever? And then it's done. Your
Yeah.
blood's drawn. And you're like, oh, my God, that was amazing. This was not one of those
Wasn't that,
days.
huh?
No.
This was not. This was a, which arm would you like it in? And I was like, this one. He's like, okay, cool, whatever. And he he goes looking for, he's like, pump up your arm. And I do the fist and everything. And he's like, feeling around. And you ever had them touch a vein and you can you're like, oh, that's it. Like, I can tell you found it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, he found it really quick. And then he kept feeling around.
Oh, no.
And then he kept filling around.
Oh.
And then he kept filling around.
Oh dear.
And then he's like,
Let's try the
let's
other
try the
arm.
other arm. And he pops that little thing off and wraps on the other one. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I don't like, I'm right-handed, so he was going to the right arm. Like, I don't like doing that because that's what I write with and everything. And so he's like, all right, well, we'll give that a shot. And he's like, oh, that's much better. And I'm like, cool, he found it. And then he's still just like filling around trying to find it. I'm like, how
Can
is
I
it
get
that much
somebody
better
else?
if you're I was
Exactly,
super
yeah.
nervous. And then he finally is like, all right, got it. And he goes over there and I had my phone sitting next to me and I moved it to the other side of me. And he's like, you can play on your phone if it helps. Like, I don't mind if people do that or whatever. And I'm like, no, because I'm afraid I'm going to drop my phone. Like, I don't like needles. I don't like getting my blood drawn. So I'm like, as much as I would appreciate the distraction, I'd rather just look away. And then when it's done, it's done.
Right.
And boop, he goes in. And then halfway through, I feel another ooh, and I'm like, oh, did he not find a vein? It felt like he did. And then you hear him change the thing out, and then he pulls it out and he puts the little swab on it. And he's like, hold here, and I hold it, and I'm like, he's like, all right, you're good. And then he goes and gets a Band-Aid to put on. And he's like, by the way, he's like, you kind of moved halfway through it or whatever. And I'm like, BS. I didn't move. I was stoic. I mean, like, I've
Same
had
thing
my,
For me, I'm stoned.
I've
I'm
had,
stoned and
I
sweating.
don't like this. I'm like tense as it gets. I'm not moving. After I got in my car, and I don't like getting needles. And if you're listening to this and you do, I'm sorry because I know the queasy feeling. I'm sitting in the car, not feeling great, but I'm like, I just know this needs a little air conditioning on the face, and then I'll be good to go, right? And while that's happening, it's like, wow, it's actually starting to hurt. Like it wasn't hurting when I left, but it's starting to hurt. And I'm like, what is going on? So I go on and to the house, and I texted my flight instructor. I'm like, I would love to meet up for a ground today. My arm is killing me. There's no way I can fly this plane because you do use your right arm a lot on the airplane. That's your throttle and everything,
Sure.
So you got to have access to that. It's at this point it's really hurting. So I took a couple of Tylenol, and then went and did the the thing with them. And yeah, sure enough, this morning I wake up with a bruise. And I'm like, it's my first time ever getting a bruise from having blood drawn. And the pain has subsided, but it's like, it's not pretty looking and it's frustrating. So, but Eric's going there in a couple days to get his blood drawn. So it'll be better.
I think I'm gonna schedule an appointment at the allergist blood draw place. I'll get her to draw the blood. And I'll just drop it off at the doctor's. Because the last time I got blood drawn was for allergies.
She was
and
great.
She was great.
Yeah.
I always ask them
mean,
to use the butterfly needle. It's much smaller with the hose on it, and then they take the blood off the hose, not your arm.
Especially if they need
What?
more than one vial.
Vial.
Vival?
Vival.
Vival
if they
gone
need more
west?
than one vial,
And-
then it's
No, but
vial.
it's
Well, when I-
significantly smaller needle.
When I did it
Oh.
at the allergist, they took like 3 files, and I didn't even know it. It was done before I
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
thought about it.
Is
I've
it
had-
part of the same health group?
No.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
Ohio Health.
No, this one's not.
Gotcha.
He's not part of Ohio Health. Yeah, but we did get the bombshell too that this will be our last visit with the doctor because he's in the fall he's moving to Toledo.
Oh,
So now it's like great, we're getting another doctor too. So just a double whammy. And I remember bragging to you how much I liked
You
my
liked your-
doctor. So
I had the same problem. My doctor moved to a different clinic. He's no longer part of Ohio Health, so I liked him.
Yeah.
He shot me straight. He didn't BS me. I asked a question, he gave me an answer, or say, I don't know, and find me an answer. So
Yes.
yeah, I still haven't replaced him. I got to do that soon.
ours automatically, they're like, we'll just automatically assign you someone in the group. And when I went to go make my appointment for the next year, she gave me the name of someone. I was like, okay, like whatever.
Yeah.
If I don't like him, we'll change it again. But that's a year from now, so we'll figure that
Sure.
out. But yeah, crazy stuff. No, this getting old and taking care of your body stuff sucks. Not a fan.
Mhm.
Wait till you get to be Melissa's age.
oh.
Oh, I know. Oh, he told me. He's like, well, all right, at 45 you get the colonoscopy, and I'm like, oh, do we have to? And he's like, then at 50, and it's like, no, let's just not even. That's a long ways from now.
Yeah,
We
let's not
don't even need
discuss
to think about it.
How was your day? Zucchini bread.
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all have to
Play in the
deal
yard.
with the boob squeezer.
That's right.
Once a year.
Yeah.
What age does that start?
It depends on what kind of health history you have in your family.
Okay.
But I think they recommend it.
I think I did mine around 40 something.
Yeah, I don't know what the Cancer Society or breast cancer.
I haven't been
Recommends.
back. So.
I do mine once a year.
Yeah.
We have health history though in my family of breast cancer.
I remember my mom, before she passed, we were chatting one day, and she was like dreading going for it, and I'm like,
It's not a big
what's
deal.
the big deal? And she told me everything that happens, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to.
Oh, it's not pleasant.
Do that. That sounds
I
horrible.
also think if you're more sensitive, or don't have a high
Or you don't got a lot.
or don't have a lot or high, your pain tolerance level isn't high. It's a significant squeeze. It's very uncomfortable.
Well, I think I'm going to try and say this as delicately as I can so that YouTube doesn't defund us. But she had a lot to squeeze.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes
So I think that was part of her.
yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I miss her.
Jerry, how was your day?
It was good. I too locked myself in the basement and worked on something that
You
I'm not
did?
ready to talk about.
Nice.
Oh.
It's top
All
secret
these
talk.
mysteries
But if
I
you follow him on
know.
Twitter,
in the basement.
yeah.
That's really The Office, isn't it?
It is. It is.
For both
me,
of
it's
you?
The Office, yeah.
Is it for both of you now?
No, I mean for Vince
Yeah.
and for Jerry. Not
Oh,
together.
sorry.
Different basements, but
So,
that's where their
yeah.
offices are.
Yeah, so if you don't know, Jerry's Don, I thought maybe he moved in the basement with
Mhm.
you, and
No.
okay, I was gonna say because that'd be a lot because he's on the phone. More,
Yeah.
yeah.
So is your secret project personal or business?
Business.
Oh.
Did you have
Oh.
mahogany delivered too?
No.
No,
Just
it
not
was
ready.
oak because it's business.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
Just not ready to announce it to the public, but something within Hyfield that I've been working on for a while, and I have gotten a lot of stuff done recently with the videos and different things. So 100% of my focus is now going on this, and I'm not stopping until I get it done. So
Ooh,
Nice.
Very exciting.
Nice.
Exciting.
So if you don't see a podcast for
That's thrilling. So is Don working upstairs, up like your old office?
yep, he's.
Is
on
he
the second
during the
floor.
heat?
Yeah.
Did you move the AC in there yet?
We are running the AC. We had to.
Yeah.
This weekend, we're really,
Yeah.
by Monday, 94. So
It's going to be 94 this weekend?
Monday,
Ooh,
90s over the weekend, and Monday, 94.
How's the humidity going to be?
High.
Yeah. I had to, y'all, thank God y'all can't smell it, but where our studio is, we had to bring the dehumidifier in. Came into the studio, I guess it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. And I was like, oh no, I smell it. Like, you know, that if you have a basement and you know the mildewy, musty smell, I was like, oh, this isn't good. So right now we're all smelling it. Thankfully, y'all aren't. But I put the dehumidifier down there, and like an hour in, it was like 70-something% humidity, and an hour in, it filled the little bundle up. So it's like I've had to keep coming down here and dumping, just try to get that humidity out of the air and get it back under control because it's frustrating. And it's so weird how like we recorded here a week ago,
Yeah.
and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
There's just been that much rain and humidity that's come
It's
into
been
this
really
area.
humid.
That's
It has been humid.
yeah. So
But it hasn't produced much. Last night I think it did. A
A
little.
bit. Yeah, it's come in sprinkly.
Rain.
Rain.
It rained today.
Oh.
it rained good today.
It rained good today. I went
Yeah.
out to Gahana.
Oh, it was raining this morning.
It was raining this morning, but I went out to Gahana about 12:30, and it came down. Like on the highway, everybody slowed down because it was coming down good.
It
Yeah.
wasn't raining at the yard.
No, I talked to Mel, and she
didn't
said
rain
it
at the
didn't rain at the
yard?
yard.
No,
It was
it
just that
sprinkled
strip,
a little bit.
like that center strip. 'cause
So
there was
wh-
like a couple.
when I got
drips, that's it.
home, it was dry. Like they got nothing at
Oh, wow.
the house.
Mm-mm.
So when I picked up that truck today, or Eric and I picked that truck up today over at Fido Freightliner, I guess that storm was moving at an angle because we got in that truck and it was pouring down rain.
Yeah.
Got on the interstate, and the interstate straight due west, or east rather,
Mm-hmm.
and we drove out of the rain and made the little clover leaf, and it was onto 270, and it was dry, past the yard, dry, and then we got up to cemetery. It's not an actual cemetery; it's the road, and that's where Thermo King is off of,
Right.
and it was just pouring.
So
I
just-
mean, like.
Totally missed that section.
That's crazy because it was bad pouring, and I just like thinking the whole time like they're doing me a solid by removing these fairings, and I'm showing up as it is pouring down rain.
Yeah.
I mean monsoon,
Yeah.
and as soon as we parked in the parking lot, the rain like we literally watched the edge of the rain leave,
Isn't that cool?
and then it was dry, and it was
Yeah.
like well the road. I mean the ground wasn't dry, but it wasn't
Right, but
raining
it stopped
anymore.
raining.
It
Yeah.
was. I was like, oh, thank God we got here literally just
in
in
time.
time. And it takes those guys 5 minutes to pop those things off. But and then we drove back to Fido. So that's I didn't realize the yard didn't get any rain either.
It like sprinkled, like seriously, barely sprinkled, like got spit
Oh
on.
wow, it's crazy. Cats and dogs. I mean, it was just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
what I
those
dealt with
windshield
today, yeah.
wipers, they're not really rated for cats and dogs. They were meowing
Cats
and
maybe, but not cats
barking.
and dogs.
No, you got to have one or the other.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night's supposed to be strong storms, possible tornadoes.
Ugh.
No, that's not good. So I need to not dilly. I'm taking the truck out to like you said about to build tomorrow. So
I hope other
Going back
contractors
out.
know about that too.
yeah, we have one of the buildings getting painted right now, and they've been busting tail to get as much painted as possible.
It was
They
a
did.
great weekend for them
Yep.
to work.
They didn't bother showing up at all today at all.
Yeah.
So, oh, so much going on. So much going on. But we have to get to the news. It's what we do. It's what we have come prepared for. And I saw something that zucchini bread you sent to me and Eric, and it was interesting because it was about my home state.
It was.
And you said, would this be appropriate? And I'm like, I think it's not only appropriate, but I'm excited about it, and I think we need to talk about it. So if you would be so kind as to let us
Sure.
know what's going on in the great state of Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Or if you're from the South, Louisiana.
So, you know how you're driving down the road and you're in the left lane and there's somebody there just cruising, blocking your path. Can't get around them, and they don't move over, and they just sit there. Well, Louisiana has now passed a law that if you're going 1 mile, is it 1 mile under? Yeah, 1 mile under the speed limit in the left lane, that you can get a ticket.
Nice.
Yes. They used to do it before. It was 10 miles under before they would ticket,
Yes.
and now it's only 1 mile, and it's up to $150 fine. If you get stopped again, it's 2 times. It's 250. Third offense, 350, and possibly jail time up to 30 days.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
So that'll keep
indeed.
you off the road.
I love it. I love it. I also, forewarning those of us that drive speed controlled trucks. So if you're in a speed controlled truck, like we run governed trucks at 65 miles an hour on the straight truck side, when you're going through those areas, if the speed limit's 70 and you may be tempted to go past someone that's doing 63 or 64 and a half or 64 and 3/4, and you get in
Yeah.
that left lane to pass them, you are now under that 1 mile. Before you were, if the speed limit was 70, you were doing 65, you were within that threshold. But now with that 1 mile per hour difference, you're no longer in that threshold and you can get a ticket. I think that's a very important part of this. So you need to make sure there's no one around you when you go to make that pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or that you can do it in sufficient time.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're not blocking traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to try and pass somebody that's governed at 64. we all know those trucks, like prime trucks that are governed a little bit below
Yes.
65,
Yeah.
Just be careful with it.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
And is that any road in Louisiana or just specific, like interstate? It's
Just
an
as
overall.
a state, but
so
I
it's-
don't know.
So any road.
yeah, it doesn't, like she said, it doesn't say which. But I will say this, coming from Louisiana, not a lot of 2-lane roads. So I would imagine most of this is going to be interstate related. But if you're not on the interstate and they are 2-lane road, most of those are 55-mile-an-hour roads. So then you could kind of get around someone if you needed
Sure.
to. But then be careful, don't get caught speeding. Or don't speed,
I was
I
going
should
to
say.
say, like, I'm totally for the law. I think it's great because there are a lot of people that do go a lot slower in the left lane.
Camp out there.
However, do you think something like that does promote speeding?
You could argue that. I think you could argue that because, now if I'm doing 72, I'm keeping myself a buffer to get away from that as well. The other thing that makes me a little bit nervous is, maybe they want to target the person that's leading the pack, but if everybody's spread out far enough and I've got my adaptive cruise control, like in my Jeep, I have adaptive cruise control, then I can set the distance out pretty far, which I'll do when I'm cruising on the interstate. And if the person in front of me slows down slow enough, my car automatically slows down slow enough. What's the chance of the cop coming after me and saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be in the left lane," even though I am passing people because I'm going under 70 miles an hour?
See,
So it does bring some interesting questions. I mean, you would ideally hope, well, no, they're going to go after the guy in front of you, but if that adaptive cruise control is set out as far as it'll go, that car can be pretty far from you. You've
Yeah.
seen it in the trucks, even sometimes that car in front of you that you're following is pretty good ways away.
I guess I didn't see it as if you were passing and you weren't blocking traffic and cruising, that it wouldn't matter if you were under the speed limit. But I suppose they still could technically, the way this is written.
The way it's written, yeah.
But they think that this will help for unsafe lane changes and will help so that there are not as many crashes.
And avoid road rage.
Yep. So,
And I love the state of Louisiana, but I do think some of that's crap. I think it's just people don't like slow people in the left lane.
No, none of us do.
Yeah.
None of us do.
There's a guy I follow on TikTok, and he says it all the time. Like, don't be in the left lane if you're going to be camping out. He always says, if you ain't got ticket money, don't be in the left lane.
That's right.
I got ticket money. I'm ready to go.
It's interesting. It's cool to see them make a change like this. I'm very curious to see what people say. And we've got a lot of family and friends that are left in Louisiana, so we'll see how this actually kind of shakes out. I mean, again, if you're stuck in the left lane behind someone and they're going slow, you still got to wait and hope that there's a cop that sees it. And who knows how long that'll take to find.
Because there's never one around when you
There's
need 'em.
never one run around
No.
unless you're doing something wrong.
Mhm.
So how long do you think this will be now before other states start doing it?
I hope sooner than later, but again, it comes back to, is there empirical data that says this helps, or is this a hunch because, like an excuse because we don't like it? I feel like there's a lot of states that want to see actual data saying it helps, and I think Louisiana's a little more okay with, we don't like this, so we're going to outlaw it.
I could totally, going back to what you were saying with the trucks and passing government trucks and stuff, I could see something like that in California. You always seem to have the trucks that get over in the left lane because they're climbing up these slow mountains and someone's going a half a mile an hour faster up that mountain.
Or even, and that gets really bad too, because you've got, a truck doing 35 miles an hour, and so someone gets in the left lane going 38 because they're passing someone. Meanwhile, regular traffic's going 65. Other trucks, like our straight trucks, climbing a hill in California fully loaded, 55 all day, no big deal. And so I could definitely see that, like,
I got
being
stopped in
something.
California. I did, and I got a warning for it.
Were you in the wrong lane?
I was in the wrong lane because it was one of those instances where there's 7 lanes of traffic climbing up the mountain, and I got over because I can go a lot faster than all these other trucks, and I was cruising at 55, and he stopped me and he gave me a warning.
Not allowed to be in that left
California's very, very, the signage is there, right?
Yes.
Trucks have to stay in the left 2 lane or right 2 lanes. It's throughout the state. And I'm going to guess maybe you were climbing out of Castaic going north up I-5.
Correct.
That's a hot spot for CHP to sit there because it is so wide there. And it's the first big hill coming out of Los Angeles. And I've seen CHP on their bikes all the time just going to get drivers that are in that the first and second lane and just grabbing them.
Is that where you pass the Getty?
No.
That's further
No.
south. That's on the 405
This
further
is
south.
literally
Okay.
as you're
Yeah, this is
leaving.
leaving Castaic,
Like where the Flying J is?
like where the the pilot.
A pilot,
The pilot is going towards the Flying J.
Yes.
Up higher. Yeah.
Okay. I know
Yeah, you're just starting to climb the grapevine there.
We hardly ever ran that, which is crazy. As many times as Eric and I ran all those roads, because we spent a lot of time in California, and we ran in the desert all the time, but we rarely rode I-5.
Yeah.
We were almost always on, is it 99?
Yep.
We were on 99 a lot. We were out of Vegas a lot. It was very rare for us to actually take 5 and go north. It was just the freight we were hauling, I guess, was a little off. Because out there, I mean, dry freight's unique. It's not, I mean, y'all ran it with Panther. It's not always where you think it would be going.
Sure. And I saw it too when I was pulling a reefer up and down I-5.
Yeah.
I was always on I-5, so I saw it a lot during that.
Yeah, makes sense. And a lot of our reefer trucks run I-5, so that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Again, we ran dry vans, so we hardly ever kind of did that. But well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in Louisiana. I mean, I 10 through Louisiana's, it's majority of it's 3 lanes, but there are still good sections of 2 lanes.
Sure.
They've been developing it over the past decade, making
Over
everything to 3
decade?
lane. Yeah,
Over the past,
That's how
over the
long it
past,
takes.
over the past 30 years.
Okay, I was cutting the time frame short.
I'm like,
Yeah.
It takes them a while.
yeah. Well, I mean, can't really complain. How long has Dallas been working on their freeway system?
How
When have
has
they
Columbus
stopped?
been working on their freeway system?
Yeah, well, true.
Yeah.
By the time they get done with it, they have to go and
Do it all over
do
again.
it all over again
Yeah.
because the road will be
Yeah.
potholed. Oh man, crazy stuff. Well, interesting to see what happens in Louisiana. I'm curious, y'all driving out there as you go through Louisiana. Do you feel that pressure? Do you see people obeying that law or not? And are cops really? Do you see anybody getting pulled over for going too slow in the left-hand lane? I know we don't get a lot of traffic through Louisiana. Most of our freight is going to be north of Louisiana, but we still get a few trucks through there. I know Panther goes
Yeah.
Panther
All
in
the
and out
time.
of Baton Rouge.
Across I-10 all the time.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Melissa, you've got some new news
I
that
know.
is exciting. We kind of spoiled this a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I talked about heading out to FIDA, and I actually saw something out there that excited me, and we talked about it a little bit. But you can finally make the announcement. I'd love to hear it.
I'm so excited. We were just out there last Saturday. Saw
Yeah.
the big sign go up.
Yeah.
The beacon of what we called home and love.
Uh,
That's what we used to call it. So Love's just opened up a new travel stop in West Jefferson, Ohio on I-70, which is just outside of Columbus, near FIDA Freightliner.
Yes.
So kind of
Yeah,
between
just
FIDA.
west of FIDA.
It's between FIDA and the TA.
Yes.
Yes.
So out there, it does offer 80 parking spaces, 6 bobtail parking spaces, the Love's Fresh Kitchen, Hardee's, 8 diesel bays, 5 showers, cat scale dog park, self-checkout options, and my favorite was the 85 jobs added.
Oh, I thought it was the Hardee's.
Oh, did I say Hardee's? I might
You
have
did
missed
say
Hardee's.
Oh,
Hardee's.
did you
Yeah.
say Hardee's?
did.
Oh, my apology. I didn't
Yep.
hear that.
No, Fresh Kitchen and Hardee's. Yep.
I saw it. I honed in on Hardee's. I liked Hardee's.
So, anyways, yeah, it opened up, and super excited to have another Love's around the circle as an option.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
outer belt as an option.
I got to say, I'm going to be totally controversial here, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to hijack your story.
No, that's okay.
Carl's Jr. is much better than Hardee's.
Ooh.
Much better than Hardee's.
You know, it depends. It depends how east or west I am.
I get that, but I'm just saying Carl's Jr. is better than Hardee's. I mean,
But what
if you
about
if you
Arby's?
think about
Arby's
think
is
about-
best.
No.
Carl's Jr. has the Los Angeles market locked down. There is no Hardee's there. It's all Carl's Jr.
There is no Hardee's there, but my question is, if you were in Los Angeles and you were locked down by Carl's Jr., then obviously you would go to In-N-Out.
Of course, but I mean, this is a Carl's Jr.
Sure, Hardee's.
Hardee's conversation. In and out doesn't even come to play in that conversation.
See how
There is no
The
difference.
way I see it is out here, it's Hardee's because we don't have In-N-Out.
Right.
And in Texas, it's of course
Whataburger.
Hardee's.
Whataburger.
What a burger.
It's Texas.
Whataburger.
Yeah,
mean,
the most
Nebraska
controversial
runs
thing
that.
I'm ever going to say on here is Whataburger is just okay. The spicy ketchup's nice.
And see, I think In and Out's just okay.
Ah, well,
In and out is horrible. I hate it.
Wow.
it's not horrible.
Wow.
I'm
How
not
can
a
it be
fan.
horrible?
I'm not a fan
Oh.
either.
What?
I'm not a fan.
It's because y'all don't have a
I've
giant
never
row with one of the massive safety pins holding it.
Exactly.
It's fine.
I just never understood the lines.
I
never
They're
got
always
it.
don't
so
It's
either.
long.
too long of a line.
It's
I do
way
agree
too
with
long
that. That is what.
for a burger that's not that great.
It's a delicious burger. I don't want to hear y'all say that. But the lines in California are ridiculous. But when you're in Texas, like around Dallas, Dallas has In-N-Out Burger. The lines are much more reasonable.
Okay, they're bringing them to the East Coast.
Didn't we have In-N-Out Burger last time we were in Oregon together?
We did on the way out.
Thought so.
I'll eat In and Out. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, animal fries. Though.
See, and I
Animal
don't
fries,
understand a secret
yeah.
menu that's not posted that you should know about that you have to order from. That confuses
Well, you don't
me.
have
Well,
to
at
order
this
from
point,
it.
how secret is the secret menu?
It's
I don't
not.
know
It's
about
not even
it.
a secret menu anymore. Now it's a unlisted menu.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's just animals.
It's
so.
great food. Well, I'm sorry you don't like fresh, never frozen ground beef. French fries chopped right in front of you, not flash frozen in a factory 1,000 miles away
They
and
need to
flown
be
in.
Fried extra long. Well, fries well done.
Oh, see, I like the,
Animal fries.
I
well
like
done.
him. I like him animal style, not well done, because it's almost like a baked potato kind of
I
experience.
get it.
But I could see,
I
yeah.
want a little crispy.
If I wanted to eat them as French fries,
You
they
go to
are
McDonald's.
they are. I'd go to McDonald's. I'd go to McDonald's. McDonald's is great French fries. It's yeah.
My go-to burger is Shake Shack.
I've never been to one.
That makes
You
two
need
of
to
us.
try it.
You know what I want
We
to
were
do?
just there this last weekend.
I want to do the
Thanks
shake.
for the invite.
Oh yeah, thanks. Let's
Well,
check my.
The
Oh,
invite
okay,
was
that's
there.
not fair. In all
I get
fairness,
it.
No.
in all fair, in all
The invite was
fairness,
there.
in all fairness, in all fairness, I was supposed to hang out with you this weekend, and I chose not to. So that is on me. But I do want to do the Shake Shack challenge. Have you considered it?
What's up?
You go to Boston, and you get a Shake Shack in Boston and try it, and then you get on a Delta flight out of Boston over 1,000 miles, and they actually have a Shake Shack burger as your lunch or dinner option. Not breakfast. Don't go too early.
Right.
You'll miss it. And then you get to compare it and how it is. Everyone that's done it so far is like, mind's blown away at how good it is.
Interesting.
That they can actually make a cheeseburger so good on a plane. So I'm like, I really want to try it and see if it really holds up.
Does Shake Shack do smash burgers?
They're-
Yes.
They're kind of like that, yeah. I mean, I think they're not as paper thin as some people think a smash
Okay.
burger is, but
Yeah.
they are really thin. They're really good, and it's like a potato bun, and their fries are big, thick, crispy fries. Like they're good.
Are they the ones advertising beef tallow fries?
No,
Or
that's
is that steak and
Steak
shake?
and Shake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Alright.
that's what that sign means.
We don't have a
Yeah, I
steak-
can't wait till
Yeah, we do.
Patrick gets his Blackstone, so I can play around with smash burgers.
I can't wait either.
I thought you were going to say pilot's license. So we can just fly whatever
We
part
can
of the
fly to
country
Boston
burger.
and then fly back with the
We
Shake
could,
Shack
we could
burger,
fly to
right?
Boston, get a Shake Shack
Right,
burger, just bring it
and
back
bring it
on the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an Air Force One thing with McDonald's. You know who has a smash burger now too? That's actually pretty darn good. Is Sonic. I don't know if y'all ever go to Sonic Drive-In.
I haven't been to Sonic in
love
ages.
Sonic.
Their burger. I always liked their burger. I thought it was a pretty decent burger. It's not spectacular. I probably feel about their cheeseburgers the way you feel about In-N-Out. It's just an okay burger.
Yeah,
But sometimes an okay burger's
sure.
What
That's
you
what you need. Yeah.
But they now have a smash burger, and I wouldn't have gotten. I actually was ordering a footlong chili cheese dog because that's my jam. I love Sonic's footlong chili cheese dogs. Their chili's good. They get the onion. Oh, anyways, yes, I had dinner night. Dang it. So they had a special going on with the smash burgers, like get one half off or
Okay.
something, and I'm like, well, for like $1.50, let me try it, and ooh, it's good.
Good to
It's
know.
considerably better than their regular cheeseburgers.
Good to know.
So Sonic, if you're out there, I mean, I love Sonic Blast. I used to love the Coke slushy things they would
Yeah.
do. So, yeah, it's America's driving for a reason.
Good old cherry limeade from Sonic.
I used to
got
work
I
at
behind
never
Sonic.
did
You
Sonic.
did? Did you have the rollerblades?
I did not do the rollerblades.
Oh.
I was not allowed, and I didn't feel comfortable anyway. I'm not coordinated enough.
Which
Yes.
she proved earlier this evening.
Their shakes are half off right now for happy hour.
You know what I always loved about? You know what I was?
Ask me how I know.
We'll be back.
After this break, we'll be right back.
We'd like to thank our sponsor of the show, Sonic. No, we so Sonic was always when my sister was going to college. She went to college. No, I'm wrong. But my sister was in high school as a senior, sophomore, and senior, and I think she did this into college too. But sophomore, and senior, she would work at the Girl Scout camp, Cape Marydale, as a wrangler. She was a horse wrangler. I don't know if you know that about Melissa or not. She was a horse wrangler. The place was probably an hour and a half from the house. And so Melissa didn't have a driver's license, so Mom and I would take her. And then on the way back, me and Mom would swing it after we got rid of Melissa. We'd swing into Sonic. And I always loved it because I would get a Route 44. And if you remember back then, they were the only people with that size drinks. Even like
They were.
Circle K or 7-Eleven didn't have that size yet.
Our AM PM did in L.A.
We didn't have AMPM in
I get it.
in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
We did in L.A.
We didn't have 7-Eleven either. We had Circle K. But
Then how did you know they didn't have that big a size? A super big gulp.
a super big cold. Yeah.
64 ounces of
Well,
sugary goodness.
so we'd hit the Sonic for happy hour because we just gotten rid of my sister,
Yeah.
and we get the Route 44 for half price, and we would get a I don't know, some kind of ice cream treat sundae or something, and then head back to Baton Rouge. Yeah. The only thing that sucked about that was you gotta keep in mind this is like early '90s, mid '90s, and late '90s, and the cars back then weren't really big cup holder thing. Like cup holders weren't a
yeah.
thing. So Mom's
Yeah.
Buick had a little cup holder that like slid out of the dash,
Mm-hmm.
and it was perfect for like a can of soda.
Right.
Like one can of soda would fit. But if you had a big Route 44, you had to hold that sucker the whole way because there was nowhere to place it.
It didn't have the fancy breakdown to a small.
No,
Not the
yeah,
first-
no,
but-
and it certainly
Later
would.
on, they did
And
do that.
It
but
was
not
so
at the
close to the
beginning.
radio. Even if it would have fit, you couldn't have fit it in there because the radio would have pushed
And
it
if it
against
did, it'd probably be so heavy when it was full, it'd break
it
the
would
little
just-
break the thing. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
fall over top heavy.
Yeah, that's why we always liked Dad's pickup truck. Dad had a Ranger back then, which 5-speed manual, and on the side of the shifter had 2 cup holders that you could put the big
Nice.
drink in. But
Nice.
yeah, I that's where I became a big fan of Sonic, was through that process. And then me and Mom would just sing songs and screw off all the way back to the house.
Nice.
So yep,
Cool.
good memories from childhood, and Sonic was part of it. Now, redeemingly health wise, nothing.
No,
They don't have a
no,
single
not at
thing
all.
there. I wouldn't.
Not at all.
You don't even want to count. Just that's a cheat day. It's a cheat day, and you don't record it. If your app that you're recording your calories on doesn't know that you had it, it didn't count.
It didn't count. Yeah.
So my favorite thing of working there is we would make the shakes and we could put in whatever flavors we wanted. So I could do like a chocolate covered cherry shake, or I could do like I don't even remember what. That's one I always made.
Did you ever do chocolate mint? Because that's the best.
That
I
is the
don't
best.
remember
So good.
Love
having
it.
mint, but
Oh,
yes,
so
I
good.
love chocolate mint. You outnumbered.
For those of you that can't see, I've got the look of disgust on my face.
Which is the look I see every morning when she opens her eyes and looks at me.
Oh,
She
I'm not a
rolls
fan
over
of
and sees me, and I get the
chocolate
look
mint.
of disgust.
I love chocolate mint, man. I remember
Mhm.
going to the Piccadilly back in the day. Anybody know Piccadilly? Piccadilly, anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Going to the Piccadilly, and afterwards you get a little York peppermint patty on the way out for 5 cents.
Yeah.
Or going to Cracker Barrel and getting the Andes mint on the way out the door, or Baskin Robbins and getting the mint chocolate chip ice cream. Good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Heather was kind enough when she did her Girl Scout cookie order
Yes.
this year.
Little thin mint.
The Thin Mint. She put a sleeve of Thin Mints in the freezer for me, and she was like, "That's all yours."
Oh.
I actually ate the last 3 last night.
Last night.
Last night.
I
Last
wanted
night,
to-
I paced myself.
I
Well
wanted to
done.
be so mad at her for not getting me any Samoas.
Samoas,
And-
caramel delights, depending on where you're from.
Yes, and I was
It's
at
like
my house.
Hardee's, Carl's Jr. kind of thing.
I was at my house one day after one of these recordings, and you had been over because you were getting the goodie bag for a team. So if you don't know, when you come to Hyfield Trekking, we have a little goodie bag put together for you, and all that accoutrement, or not all of it, but a lot of it is kept in my office. And so she came over and made a couple goodie bags, and then left. And on my bar was a little snack bag of those Samoas, and I'm like, well, I would rather a whole box, but like, this is nice. I appreciate this, and was very thankful. And I ate those. I spaced them out because I only had like 6, maybe something
I
like
don't
that.
remember.
It-
There
6
was
or
a
8
slip.
of them. Yeah, and it was good.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, love it. But then when they were gone, I was like, well, this is sad. And then like 3 weeks later, another bag appeared, and I was like, oh, someone's buying some love.
Nice.
And you can buy all the love from me you
I
need.
got to keep my
So-
job somehow.
Well, that you're on the right track. It was no, it was great having those. And honestly, I am trying to watch what I eat. I did get a little fat, and I was able to space those out. And one cookie night's not a big deal. The problem is I would eat an entire box in one setting easily. Wouldn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, they're so good.
Mm-hmm. I could try and make them. I have a recipe to make them, but I just don't know it would be the same.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow's your day
Tomorrow.
off, apparently.
Exactly.
Well,
No,
do
she doesn't get
that
a day
or-
off, but she can just make cookies tomorrow.
Yes,
yeah,
very
that's,
true.
that's part of the job.
Very true. Well, the thing I liked about the Loves article was anytime they open one of their stores, they always do a $5,000 contribution donation to the local community, and they do a $5,000 donation to Children's Miracle Network. And I think that's something. I'm sorry, Nationwide Children's Hospital, but it's through the Children's Miracle Network. I think it's one thing we need to talk about too. The next time they do one of their big our Children's Hospital pushes, is Loves does an amazing job working with children's hospitals, and is it Children's Miracle Network, is that what it is?
With
Yeah.
that, they have the balloons that
They
you
have the
can
little
donate
balloons,
and put,
yes.
put a name on or something.
If you
yeah.
ever go into a Loves, you see all these little paper hot air balloons or whatever. Are they hot air balloons? Or
Yeah,
are
I
they
think
just-
they are.
all
believe
over the
so.
wall. They do these big pushes, and the people donate money right there, and 100% of it goes to Children's Miracle Network, and they let you fill a little thing out, and they'll stick it on the wall, and they do it once or twice a year,
Mhm.
and it's one of those things they do that we really don't talk about. They don't put a whole lot of publicity behind it because they're not trying to like get famous off it. It's just one of the good things they do. So the next time they have one, we need to publicize that and let people know about it because it's a really good organization. It does
Sure.
help people out that are in those spots. I'm a big fan of St. Jude and Children's Miracle Network. I've got several family members that have been affiliated or had to use those services, and same with Ronald McDonald House. When you need that stuff, it's really great these charities exist to help out with that. So big fan of that. Love that they have chosen to give back in that way. And then the other thing I love about it is so close to the yard.
Yes, it is.
If you maybe you have come to Columbus to work with Hyfield or drive one of our trucks, or maybe you are interested in it, a lot of people come. They get into the truck, and then the pilot that's really close to the yard
Oh,
is
no.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's tiny. It's very difficult to get in and out.
Yep.
Even if you just like circle through to get air in your tires, it could be an hour-long
It could be.
endeavor.
Oh,
really
yeah.
could be.
Easily. It's not a good place. And so then a lot of people will want to go to the Loves in
Obits.
Obets,
Mm.
which is a nice 1-year, 2-year-old Loves. It's not that old.
It's about 5 years old
Is
now.
it 5 year?
Yeah, because it was open when
I
we
was
were
going
on
to
the
say
road.
it was open.
Oh, I
when
We've
thought
been
on
off the road for just about 3 years
Okay,
now.
so
So in early 21.
apparently
at
I don't know
least.
time anymore.
But it gets the local bobtail traffic.
gets the local-
and local
yes.
drivers.
Hard to
Yes.
find parking.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find parking.
Any time of day.
Yes, anytime of day. It's always bad. It's in the middle of a
Yep.
very busy
Mhm.
industrial area.
Really is.
So most people avoid that. Then the next option is to go out towards Buckeye Lake, and they go to
Etna.
Etna.
Edna.
Do you know they don't have laundry services?
Edna doesn't have laundry
But
services.
they're a newer store too.
Yes, and but they're the kind of same deal. It can get busy at night. During the day, it's not so bad, but at nighttime, it can get a little crazy. On the weekend, it's actually not bad. It's a good place during the weekend. But at night, it's a bit much. So a lot of people choose to go to Circleville, and Circleville's like
45 minutes away. Yeah.
or
South.
so. If there's no traffic, if there's traffic, it could be an hour
Yep.
south of Columbus. So that place, there's always parking. It's never really a big deal. But this place is 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my concern though with this place is it's right on I-70. And it's where Circleville is not on I-70. It's
Correct.
off a smaller state
Yep.
route. This one's right off I-70. It's a busy area out there as well.
So
You know, I was doing
My-
the math on Bellefontaine. It also is a equal distance as Circleville is.
well, the thing I'm hoping with this one is, like you said, it's a busy area, but
Mhm.
you've got TA, a large TA.
Large TA.
You've got a pretty big Flying J right
Yeah,
there.
huge.
You've got a
Sheetz.
brand new Sheets that just opened with
It's
truck
a
parking.
good size too.
It's a good size,
Yeah.
and now you've got this Loves.
Yeah.
So you've kind of got everything right there to where even if you're like,
Mhm.
we're going to go to Loves and we're going to get fuel and we're going to like try and make that our thing, you get there, you don't find parking, you've got 3 really
do.
good alternatives right around the corner. And so that's what I like about it. And I'm hoping that with all those other options, that Loves doesn't get too crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, again, if you leave at 8, 7 p.m., good luck.
Sure.
You know, that might be a bit much. But most people are out of the yard by 4 or 5, and they should be able to get there and get some parking.
I would think so.
So, and then also, you know, if people come into town, I think it'd be a great place for people to hang out. Because there's a fair number of them that go to that TA.
They do. They do.
So to be able to have that Loves right there where you get your shower credits and
Yeah.
free refills and all that stuff, I think it'd be
nice.
it'd be really nice. I'm glad to see it's open. They also, I don't know if you saw this, they have a spot where they have pre-planned for electric vehicle chargers.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
They've apparently not built it out. They are trying to come up with some kind of a partnership with a local utility provider to install that. But they are planning for it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really cool place. I like the location. If you're going to FIDA, it is extremely convenient.
Yes, it is. I
Um,
agree.
one exit down. I mean, from there it's 3 minutes to FIDA.
Yeah.
It's very close.
Yeah.
So, and we use them a lot. So that I think that's really going to our drivers going to see a good bit of benefit out of that. And even if you're not one of our drivers, you'll see some benefit out of it if you're in the area. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff happening in Ohio, and questionable things happening in Louisiana. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, today, in continuing our series, talk on why, oh why, Hyfield, did you do what you do? Today, last week we talked about the engines, and I
Yes.
apologize. I heard back that audio, and it's rough. I was clearly a little under the weather still. But today we're going to talk about not engines. We're going to move a little bit down the truck, but not much. And we're going to talk about transmissions.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
In our line of work, in the type of trucks we run, there's essentially four transmission options for trucks. So we'll get the first one out of the way quickly, which is a good old-fashioned manual transmission. You know, I thought all truckers grinded gears and double clutched, and
Right.
you know, with that 18-speed Eaton with the double reduction gear, you got to have the double reduction.
Gotta have double reduction.
Have my arm up on that.
Mm-hmm.
gear shifter and cruise down the road. That's a lot of people's idea of the truck, right? Is that big old gear shifter and run down the road. Well, we don't run those. We never have run those. We've always been some form of an automatic transmission since day one. But I did, Eric and I, it was something we were concerned with actually when we first got started driving. So both of us went and actually learned to drive on a stick shift, commercial, or test on a stick shift, I should say, so that if we ever had to, we could.
Right.
Get in the industry, and here we are now, and it's like no need. Majority of your large fleets have all gotten out of that. Even when we got started, the 10-speed Eaton was like everybody had them. It was very, very common. Today, it's becoming less and less common. Even those people that are like, well, always only have 10-speed Eatons have now moved to an automated form. But so manual transmission, if you love it, great. I love a manual transmission. I got a car out in the yard that has a manual transmission right now. I love it. It's a fun car to drive. But when it comes to trucks, it's just a little easier with the automated transmission.
Easier on the left foot and the right shoulder.
Yep. That's one thing. So my dad was one of those people who drove a manual transmission truck all his life. And it's one of the things he talked about as he got a little older. His left knee starting to give him trouble because of just working that clutch. Like it just is what it is. Your body can't do one steady movement its whole life without an issue. So the automatic transmission's easier for driver recruitment. It's easier going down the road.
Yep.
And nowadays the automatic transmission has gotten more fuel efficient than a manual.
More fuel efficient, yeah.
And I've run across a lot of people who argue me this, although it's getting less and less common. But the facts are there, black and white. You can see it. The automated transmissions have gotten so good, they are more fuel efficient than the manual transmissions. So now that you know that we don't have manuals, all we have are automatics. We have a few different types of automatics I want to talk about. So there are two that are OG, original automatic transmissions, and there's one new guy on the market right now. And the new guy's been on the market for 10 years, so I'm not like hiding anything.
Right.
But the OGs, which I think OG you had one, would be the Eaton Ultra Shift 10-speed automated manual with the clutch.
I did.
I thought you did. I had a feeling you've been around long enough.
It was in a Western Star.
So please explain how this transmission worked.
So you had the clutch. You had to engage the clutch whenever you started the vehicle, whenever you came to a stop. However, once you started rolling, then you no longer had to use the clutch. It would automate and shift the gears for you. But whenever you then came to a stop, you had to engage the clutch.
Yep. So those old Eaton transmissions, they were pretty smart in what they did. They knew, like if you meet a trucker that drives a manual transmission, he'll tell you, I clutch first, I don't clutch again. Outside of that, you're floating gears.
Yeah.
And so by floating gears, if you don't know what that means, is you match the RPMs of the engine to the RPMs of the gear that's actually spinning, and you can pull the truck out of gear and into another one, and you don't have any clanging of the gears because they're spinning at the exact same speed. So as you drive manual transmission, you get used to hearing it and learn where those shift points are, and you can do it without having to hit that clutch. But it only works once the truck's moving.
Right.
If you're at a dead still, then your engine's turning, but your transmission's not. So you have to use a clutch to engage that transmission. So what the Eaton did at the time was they said, all right, we can use air, and we can like air pressure like off the air system of the truck, and we can program our computer to know with sensors when these two discs are flying or gears are flying at the same speed, then you do your shift. And they do it with air, compressed air to make that happen, and it worked great. But they didn't know how to get the truck moving in first gear, clutch. So that's why your old school ones had a clutch. Well, they finally got smart, and they found how to do an electric clutch. And now you got a little motor that actually engages and disengages that clutch, which is how it's able to get in and out of first gear. But it's still, once you're rolling in one of those old Eaton transmissions, it's air ride. It's just floating or air controlled. It's all floating gears. So they only clutch still out of first and gear and reverse and not moving, neutral. So really cool technology, very fuel efficient, very dependable. Those old school ones, you had XY shifters and some other things that were problematic. You had to get fixed, but other than that, very durable. So durable that the latest version of that, so that was the Eaton Auto Shift. I think it was the Eaton Auto Shift, wasn't it? I believe it's the Eaton Auto Shift is what it used to be called. Now it's called the Ultra Shift. And the newest version of that is what we have on our M2s, which
Yeah.
is the Eaton Ultra Shift. And that one works great. It's dependable.
Great transmission.
Yeah, not the fastest thing in the world. It's not going to
No.
win awards.
No, it's not.
But durable, long-lasting transmissions. When they break, you can get them fixed pretty easily. Eaton is a huge company, and almost every trucking, like Peterbilt, Kenworth, Freightliner, Western Star, International, Volvo, they all use it. So everybody's familiar with them. There's a lot of independent Eaton shops, so you're able to get serviced everywhere. But a lot of times, just replace a clutch is what it normally is.
Right.
They're just reliable transmissions, not very fast, but super reliable. The piece de resistance that everybody loves, absolutely loves, and you see this in motorhomes, you see it in touring buses, you see it in, like, if you've ever done a charter bus, they probably had one of these, would be the Allison automatic transmission. Now, Allison builds an automatic transmission that is a true automatic, just like what's in your car. It's got a torque converter on it, and it's a 5 or 6 speed transmission, so it doesn't have the 10 or 12 or whatever you're
Right.
used to. It's very large gears, and it runs the gamut, but it runs like your car. When you put your foot down, you don't feel the gear shifts. It's instant power. It goes pretty quickly, and they are really nice, really durable transmissions. They've been out for a long, long time. Allison started by building airplane engines for the war. Like, they've been out a long time.
Is the Allison the one with the push buttons?
Yes. So
Okay.
Allison had, yes, if you've ever seen an RV or even some trucks have had the little push button. It's the neutrals in the middle, drive,
Right.
and reverse.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the Allison. Very, very cool. You might have. We had one truck
We
like
had
this.
a couple of them like this. We don't have any more.
We don't have any more. We only had one like it. We only had one. We had another Eaton that had a push button,
Okay.
but we only had
Alright.
one Allison,
Gotcha.
and that Allison was crazy. How
Yeah,
nice it was.
It was nice.
The reason we don't use Allison, like I said, we've only ever had one, and I bought that one used. The only reason we don't use them is horrible fuel economy. Because
Interesting.
it is like your car, so it runs through a torque converter. Now, a torque converter, think of it like, I'm going to dumb it down, but think of it like two fans. Like, you take 2 box fans, you put them in front of each other, and then you seal them up, and you turn one fan on, it's going to make the other one turn.
Right.
Well, that's what a torque converter does. It's basically 2 fans inside of a liquid, and as your engine turns, it spins the liquid, which makes the other one turn. Well, you can imagine by doing that, it's not perfect. You lose a lot
Use a lot in
of
there,
power and waste in that spinning liquid, and so you lose a lot of power. So the engine has to work harder to move the truck forward. And when you're at speed, so when you're going 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour down the road, they actually have these little teeth that come out and lock the 2 torque converters up
Okay.
to help with fuel efficiency. So now you are actually connected to the system, so you don't have all that loss. But everything to get you there, you lost
Wasn't efficient.
was inefficient. You lost tons of diesel using that. So again, great transmission, super well built, very reliable, very comfortable to drive, but just horrible in fuel economy. You look at like the big touring buses; most of those are like 5 to 6 miles per gallon, whereas our commercial trucks are getting around 10 to 11.
Wow.
So it's very, very inefficient versus what we're getting.
But more comfortable for a big coach.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if
Yeah.
you're driving around people. So when you're driving like the Eaton or the next transmission I'll tell you about, you do feel the gear shift.
Yeah.
So if you're ridden with a manual transmission car and you have that, you feel that the car move forward a little bit, like when you shift gears and all. You do feel that on the automated manuals. On the Allison, you wouldn't. So if you're on a charter bus and you're trying to get some sleep because you're riding, because you play saxophone in a band, like a marching band, for example, and you're trying to get to a game somewhere, and so you're trying to sleep on the bus, you don't want to be feeling all
Sure.
those shifts. You want to be able to just conk out, and that'd be that. So that's why those Greyhounds, all those guys, they run the Allison, so it's nice and smooth. But freight don't care, and we
No.
haul freight.
Doesn't.
So the transmission that we now use is the modern day 12-speed. Eaton, Detroit, and Volvo all make a version of this transmission. It's a 12-speed automated manual. The new thing that's so great about it is it actually works with the engine. So beforehand, you had an engine telling a transmission, hey, we're going to go to this RPM, and the transmission would go, oh, that's cool. Whenever you get to that RPM, I'm going to shift gears, right? And so they didn't really talk to each other. They knew what each other were doing, but they didn't really chat.
Right.
These new modern transmissions, these 12 speeds that are out right now, and Eaton actually has like a 18 speed too that'll do the same thing. The transmission computer and the engine computer are sharing information. So now the transmission can tell the computer, hey, we want to do this. Can you do this to the engine to make to where I can do this? And so now they're actually all talking back and forth, which is just increasing that fuel economy and making them even more efficient and getting them better so they last longer because there's less wear and tear on them
Right.
because they're not kind of fighting each other.
Yeah.
Now they're working as one, and you get better fuel economy. And a plus side of that is now they can skip gears. So if you've ever jumped in a truck with a 12-speed transmission, you might have noticed if you looked at the number, it would start at 3 and go to 5 and then go to 8 and then go to 10 and then go to 12.
Right.
Whereas before you'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, every little shift pattern. So they act more like a 6-speed transmission because they're all working together. And so it makes for a more pleasant ride, I think.
It does.
And it's a more fuel efficient transmission. So
Even though you can still feel those shifts, you're feeling less of them between 0 and 65.
absolutely, and in some cases they're smoother shifts.
Sure.
Because they are working more together. And so it's definitely a lot better of a way. It is so good that Prevost Bus Company. So those are Prevost. They're
Yeah, big motor coaches.
Big motor coaches. They're the ones that pretty much only thing Greyhound buys these days. They're owned by Volvo, and they are now buying that version of transmission from Volvo for the Greyhound buses.
Nice.
So even though they've always been Allison, these new ones are gotten so good and so slick that they're buying those. And much to our happiness, Freightliner just introduced those into the M2s that we buy. So now all of our new M2s that we've been buying, I think we probably got like 6 or about 10 of these now. About 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 10 of these so far, and we've got 7 more to get, something like that.
Something like that.
They all have the new 12-speed transmission that works together, and it's really nice. They also work with your engine brake now is tied into your transmission as well. So it's a really, really smart system. If you're driving a Cascadia right now and it was built 2016 or newer, you probably have this. They have tweaked it and made it a little better over the years, but they're finally rolling it out to the Freightliner M2 series, which is what we mostly run on the across the board. So that is very exciting that we get this.
That's exciting.
Those are the two So the Eaton and the Detroit are the two transmissions that we pretty much run exclusively now, and they are fantastic, very well built transmissions. We get a lot of reliability out of them. They get very good fuel economy, and depending on which service group you're working with within Hyfield, some people pay for their own fuel, some people don't, and boy, if you're paying for your own fuel, you certainly want the most fuel efficient combination you can get. And it's really cool to see that we have this option out there and that we are running that top of the line equipment. So that's just a little bit about why we do what we do. The big one we get all the time is why don't we run the Allisons? Because people know how smooth they are. Fuel economy. It just costs a fortune to run them.
What do you think Big Enos had in his truck running that beer across the country?
He would have had it Eaton, but it would have been a probably an 18 speed in that old Kenworth.
Oh. Well,
W900.
I fact checked for you.
And it's who?
Big Enos was the name of the bandit. Well, the driver.
What was his call handle?
Really?
Was it Bear? No, it was.
I don't see anything about that.
If you remember his call handle, drop us a line.
Exactly.
And tonight, Eric, we're watching Smokey the Bandit. Do you think does Iowa 80 still play Smokey the Bandit on loop? They used to. I haven't been
Don't
I-80 in
know.
a couple of years, but they used to always have it on a loop.
We've only stopped in there like once.
I could have stopped
Yeah.
on my way back, but I didn't.
I've been there quite a few times, but I'll be honest with you, it's because they had a Blimpie Subs in there in the field bay, which is a weird thing to say if you're not
Yeah.
familiar with trekking. But I would go in there and get that turkey, beef, and cheddar. Oh, so good. Anyways, get it panini style. Oh, it's great, man. That's when I knew Subway was crap. Was when I first had Blimpie. Anyways, so you heard I'm gonna rat out our Southeast Division. Kelly and Jimmy and Delina just had a Firehouse Subs built right next to them.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Oh,
So,
I bet you
Wow.
Jimmy's in hog heaven.
oh, they're
bet.
loving it. They're loving it.
bet.
I'm like, oh god, you're gonna gain 20 pounds next time I see you, all that bread. But anywho, well, that's why we do our transmissions the way we do them. I'm curious if you've been out there and you've experienced different trucks, or you've had the Volvo, or you've had a Kenworth with the Eaton transmission or something, and it's a little different. What is your experience? What do you like on it? What don't you like on it? Let us know. Smokey's partner's handle.
I saw Snowman.
Was
I
that
don't
it?
know what
Snowman.
that
That is
meant.
his name. That's his
That
handle.
is him.
That is him.
Snowman,
Yes. I think it's him.
And his handle was Smoky Bear. Smoky Bear and Snowman is what I get when you Google.
We
fact
have
checking.
botched this. I am
We
so
truly
sorry.
have,
I
yeah.
apologize. We will be
Yeah.
handing over our CDLs and going back to CDL permit holders. And we will do our diligence to watch and get better. We did not mean to offend the trucking community. But if you were listening to this and you're kind of curious, what is Hyfield all about? What is it? What is this company y'all chat about? I thought y'all were just a show that y'all put on. Feel free to reach out to us. We have hyfieldtrucking.com. You can kind of see what we do there. If you want to talk to one of our recruiters and get a little more of an idea, you can talk to Melissa or Delina, who's been on this show before. You can look her up a few episodes ago and see her on here as well.
Go
But
support the Expedite Chicks.
support the Expedite Chicks. They do a wonderful job. You can check out Lookshire Expediting Ventures. You can check out Truck and Travel. You can check out Expedite Boogie. You can check out
The real trucker.
the Rear Trucker Couple. The real trucker couple. Look online. There's other YouTubers out there that aren't affiliated with our truck or with our company, but they still put out great information. Check them out as well. And if you would like to call and talk to one of these ladies in recruiting, you can always call us at
833-493-4353, option 1. That's 833 Hyfield. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Or Jerry, what else can they do?
You could shoot over an email to theouterbellpodcast@gmail.com if you're interested in leaving a comment on the show or have an idea for a future show.
Yeah.
You can check us out on all the socials: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
leave
We're
us a
on
comment.
TikTok.
We are.
That's pretty cool. I don't have TikTok.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
we don't have none of us have TikTok, but it's cool. It's cool. We're on there.
Some people do.
Yeah, some people do. You can also leave us a comment here as well, and we'll chat with you on there. We have had a couple people send us some corrections, and we've chat like if you find some of those chats we talked about, like when we were talking about the English language proficiency, we were kind of really focusing on what was happening in Mexico, and we were certainly told about some other things that we had a blind eye to. So we really do appreciate your comments. It does help us make the show better, and it does help us with our education as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for supporting our channel. If you like what you see here, shoot us share the episode with someone. Hit your like, hit your subscribe. All that stuff helps us. If you think anybody else might enjoy this while they're going down the road for an hour and you want to hear a few people just chat for meaningless hours on end, by all means, share it with them. We're on YouTube. We're also on any podcast format you're familiar with. So if listening to us is easier than watching us, you can check us out on any of your podcast formats you like.
And I would like to say, we actually, last episode, just published our 75th episode.
Nice.
Wow.
So we're on our way to 100.
Had you told me after that lost episode that we'd be at 75 episodes, I wouldn't have believed you.
How about after the first one?
The lost one?
The lost
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad.
That was horrible.
That was y'all putting. Oh,
And people are streaming at their phones right now saying, all 75 have been horrible, but that's just a matter of opinion.
Well,
I
you
think
know,
we've done a great job.
we have done a job. So, and we've expanded our cast and we changed our setup and
We
you
have,
know,
Yeah.
we've
yeah.
adjusted.
It has been a lot of fun so far. But in the meantime, until we meet again, thank you, OTR Services, for sponsoring this episode. If you are interested in a carb test, OTR-services.com. That's OTR-services.com. Send them, help support them. Anything you do to support our sponsors helps us. And we just appreciate you. Make good decisions and stay safe.
Don't leave money on the table.
And keep those wheels a turning.
Night.
Bye.